Hey folks, ever go digging in your backyard hoping to find buried treasure but only find a lost sock? Well, today we're diving deep into some creepy archaeological finds that are a far cry from lost laundry. So here are 6 of the creepiest archaeological finds ever to be uncovered. Number 1. Chiles Chinchero mummies. Ever thought the Egyptians had a monopoly on the whole mummy business? Think again. Meet the OG mummifiers, the Chinchero. Researchers uncovered the Chinchero mummies in the arid coastal regions of northern Chile and southern Peru. Specifically, many of these mummies were found around the town of Arica in Chile. The Chinchero started mummifying their dearly departed around 5,000 BC, making the Egyptians look like they were late to the mummy party by a solid 2,000 years. Now, the Chinchero had their own unique flair for mummification. Forget simple wrappings, they went full DIY. Imagine disassembling bodies, drying them out, stuffing them with local vegetation, and then piecing them back together with twigs. And for the pièce de résistance, a chic clay face mask. Talk about extreme makeover. But here's the touching bit. While the Egyptians were selective, mummifying mainly the elite, the Chinchero were the all-inclusive resort of the mummy world. Everyone got the special treatment, from babies to the elderly. You gotta appreciate that egalitarian spirit. Now, our old-school mummies are facing a modern menace. Rising humidity is threatening their preservation. Bacteria are basically having a buffet, making their millennia-long survival a cliffhanger. We're still piecing together why the Chinchero were so keen on this intense mummification. Was it their way of dealing with high mortality rates or some profound spiritual belief? Who knows? But one thing's for sure, when it came to remembering their loved ones, the Chinchero sure knew how to make a lasting impression. Number 2, Otzi the Iceman. Alright folks, if you ever been embarrassed by an old yearbook photo, get ready to feel a whole lot better, because our next guest from history makes that awkward face seem fleeting. Enter Otzi the Iceman. This fellow was found chilling, quite literally, in the Alps between Austria and Italy in 1991. Now, I know freeze packing is a thing for food, but Otzi took it to a whole nother level. He's over 5,000 years old, and honestly, considering his age, he's looking pretty well preserved. But if you think your life is an open book with social media, get this. Researchers know a crazy amount about Otzi's last days. Kind of like a prehistoric CSI episode. They deduced that he had a couple of tattoos, probably for acupuncture, so he was trendy, ate some wild goat, and eventually met a grisly end, like murdered with an arrow. Plus, fashionistas might be interested, he rocked a bear fur hat, brass shoes, and carried a copper axe. Now the even creepier part. Many believe that Otzi is cursed, as several individuals associated with Otzi died under what some consider were unexpected circumstances. For example, the German tourist who discovered Otzi died in 2004 during an unexpected blizzard while hiking near the same region where he found the Iceman. A forensic pathologist who handled Otzi's body died in a car crash en route to give a lecture about the Iceman. A mountaineer who transported Otzi's body died in an avalanche. Notably, he was the only one to die while others survived. And a journalist who filmed the recovery of Otzi died of a brain tumor. Number 3, the screaming mummies. Now, if you've ever woken up after a night of too much partying, mouth wide open, mascara running, don't deny it. You might have something in common with our next topic, the screaming mummies. No, it's not a punk rock band, it's an actual archaeological conundrum. These Egyptian mummies were found with their jaws open, appearing as if they were in an eternal scream. Creepy, right? But before you go thinking that some mummy's curves were a bad Egyptian spa day, let's break it down. See, when the mummification process is skipped or done wrong, looking at you lazy embalmers, the jaw can fall open. Over time, the bandages shrink, pulling the mouth wider. So rather than capturing a moment of ancient terror, it's more likely just a side effect of mummification gone wrong. But wait, there is a twist. One of these screamers, called the unknown man E, was buried in an unusual way, leading some to speculate he might have been poisoned or even buried alive. So yeah, it could either be bad mummification or some pharaoh-level drama was involved. Number 4, Terracotta Army. Ever thought your toy soldier collection was impressive? Well, Emperor Qin Shi Huang of China saw your little army and raised you over 8,000 life-sized clay soldiers. Talk about overcompensating. Say hello to the Terracotta Army. The Discovered in 1974 by some farmers looking to dig a well, these statues weren't just having a giant underground party, though that would explain a lot. They were there to protect the emperor in the afterlife. Each soldier is uniquely detailed, different facial features, hairstyles, and positions. Think of it as an ancient China's version of Where's Waldo, except everyone looks like they're ready for battle, and Waldo is an emperor wanting eternal protection. And it wasn't just soldiers, there were chariots, horses, acrobats, and even musicians, a whole underground talent show, if you will. But here's the kicker. Emperor Qing started building this massive project when he was only 13 years old. I mean, most of us at that age were just figuring out acne and algebra, and this guy's commissioning a massive underground army. So the next time you are feeling a little extra, just remember, you haven't gone full Emperor Qing. And if you ever find yourself building an army of clay statues for the afterlife, maybe scale it back just a tad. Number 5, the Tomb of the Sunken Skulls. Ever hear about lakefront property and think, sounds dreamy? Well, let me introduce you to some ancient homeowners who took lake living to a whole new and creepy level. The folks behind the Tomb of the Sunken Skulls. Now located in present-day Sweden, archaeologists uncovered this underwater Stone Age settlement from 8,000 years ago. And while finding old artifacts is cool, stumbling upon mysterious mounted skulls with stakes driven through them, that's the stuff of horror movies. Imagine being the archaeologist on that dig day. Hey Bob, found another pot. Wait, is that a skull on a stick? Makes you wonder if the ancient people were trying to set up some avant-garde underwater art installation. But jokes aside, researchers believe these skulls might have held ceremonial importance, perhaps related to ancestor worship or as a unique way to remember the dead. Or maybe they were a Stone Age version of a security system telling intruders, you might want to turn around. Whatever the reason, the Tomb of the Sunken Skulls reminds us that history is a mixed bag of fascination, inspiration, and well, downright spooky. Number 6, the Capuchin Catacombs. Ever get the feeling you're being watched? Multiply that by a couple thousand, and you might come close to the vibes in the Capuchin Catacombs of Palermo, Italy. Picture this: long hallways lined with mummies, all dressed in their Sunday best, and you've got a VIP pass to the creepiest fashion show in history. Founded in the late 16th century, these catacombs started out as burial sites for friars, but soon it became the in-place to hang out post-mortem. The rich and famous of Palermo thought, why be forgotten when I can be on display forever? Talk about an afterlife flex. As you stroll through, you'll see lawyers, priests, and even children, all mummified and chilling, literally. One of the last to be interred was Rosalia Lombardo in 1920, a 2-year-old who's eerily well preserved and has earned the nickname Sleeping Beauty. But here's the fun part. Back in the day, families would visit their departed loved ones, clean them, change their clothes, and even prop them up in poses. Think of it as a macabre family reunion where Uncle Tony can't spill wine on the couch because, well, he's a mummy. So if you are ever in Palermo and fancy some chilling history with a side of extra existential contemplation, the Capuchin Catacombs await. Just remember, it's really not impolite to stare here. In fact, it's kind of the point. So from tattooed Iceman to terracotta troops, the past is weirder than your uncle's dance moves at a wedding. And if you enjoyed our trip through history's creepy closet, smash that like button and subscribe for more tales. So until another tantalizing tale of history, mystery, and a little comedy, stay curious, everybody.